This is the Minted Podcast, a show for small business owners running a business and a life at the same time. Every day, I get to work with people just like you. You're great at your profession, but dread doing all the operational tasks. It drains your cash and your headspace. If you're at the point where you are done winging it, but outsourcing or hiring still feels a step away, this show is for you. Hi, I'm Lisa Morey, the founder of Mint Agency. And today we're answering the question, how do you find momentum when everything feels against you? To help us do that, I'm speaking with Jared Walker, the founder of That Butcher Shop in Lockhart. All right, let's get minted. Hello, Jared. Welcome. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for inviting me, Lisa.
Now, let's go right back to the very start of your business journey. Tell us about that and how it all come about.
Yeah, so August 1st, 2019, we took over.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a joint venture with me and my wife. The goal was to eventually create a business that we could work in together and show our kids a loving relationship, but also a growing business as well.
Yeah.
COVID happened 3 months later, and I rang another butcher shop that I knew and said, you can have this shop for 10 grand. I do not want it. I'm not going to lose my family over something. I'll go and work for wages because of the unprecedented that could have happened. Luckily for me that I didn't, and it's worked out.
How far in were you when COVID hit?
3 to 4 months.
Wow.
Yep, and just reading different rumours about everything's going to shut down except a supermarket really scared me. Obviously, we'd just bought the business, so we had repayments and a young family. So you go into dad mode and go, I need to provide for the family. Mm-hmm. And if this isn't going to do it, I'll get out before it's too late. Mm. And it was chaos, but we're here still.
That's so tough, and especially as feeling like the provider for the family as well.
Yeah, the breadwinner.
Yep. So how did you get through that? What made you decide to stick with it?
My lovely wife.
Bless her.
Yeah, just get up and keep going, mate. So, you know, like everyone during that time that could work, we were doing 18-hour days. Mm. I remember the kids were in the back seat of the car some nights at 10 o'clock at night still delivering because there was only me and my butcher that I've got, Russell, and that was it. Meat was coming in, meat was going out. Prices were changing rapidly. Sometimes sold meat at cost price just because we were that busy. We weren't reading invoices properly. We were just trying to feed people because it was a scary time. People wanted to know that they had supply. So we were just trying to do our best to help the community, and it was at the detriment of our business, but also we were very grateful that we were able to still trade and we were able to service the community.
And so for anyone listening who's not familiar with Lockhart, tell us how many people live in Lockhart.
Yeah, so Lockhart's 40 minutes west of Wagga with a population of approximately 900, and it's an ageing town, but the council's doing a lot to help that. There's some new land releases happening to go with the supply and demand of housing. So we're noticing a bit of a growth from people from the cities or even from Wagga just looking for that different lifestyle, but still close to the major centre.
Yeah, so it's definitely very community orientated.
Absolutely, very community orientated.
Yeah. So once you got through all that, COVID, you know, obviously there was highs and lows for a few years there.
Yeah.
When did you feel like you came out the other side? When did things start to shift?
I would say it started to shift when I had someone from Business Connect step into my business. He actually came into my business and I thought I was getting scammed. It was that good of an offer that he come in and he told me it was free. So I sent him away and did my due diligence and researched him. And if it wasn't for this gentleman Court, if he didn't step in when he did, I had a trajectory of going $70,000 below zero within 6 months. Just the way the business was growing and the way that it was being run. Well, to be honest, it was being run very poorly. Mainly because I didn't have business experience, but I couldn't afford to pay someone to do that. I was also a bank manager in my past life. So the people that were meant to be helping me assumed that I knew everything. Bank managing for the company I did, for everyone that wants to know, is people management. Nothing to do with running a business. Because if you manage your people right, the business comes. Their motto. So Court stepped in and just taught me the basics of business. How much does it cost to pay your butcher per kilo? At the time, it was $3 a kilo just to have my butcher, right? So you get a product in, let's just use round figures, at $10. Before you add anything else, it's $3 just for the butcher. So we're up to $13. And then he broke down my electricity. He broke down all my expenses to a kilo price. Now, what I was doing was I got told once that you've got to make 30%. So I was putting 30% on every product. That wasn't paying the bills. That's 30% should be the gap in between to cover unexpected maintenance or growth or anything like that, not your day-to-day. Your day-to-day worked out for us, it was about 65%.
Wow.
Before we even looked at making 1 cent. And that's when Court did the trajectory. And I just said, I want to give up. I just can't keep doing this anymore. What am I going to do? I said, I can't do this to my family. Mm-hmm. And I remember crying in front of him. And I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I'm a grown man. You know, I'm a butcher. Everyone sees me as a big tough guy. I said, I'm not. I said, I just want my family to have the best life that I can give them. So he stepped in. He was my business coach for about 3 or 4 years until the state government decided to scrap it, which broke my heart. Luckily for me, Court checked in every 12 months, which really helped. So what happened from then, I gave him access to my Xero. I said, take my whole business. You tell me what I have to do. And one thing we decided to do for me to be able to grow and to get out of this hole that I'm in, we needed to rebrand and we needed to go online. Because what COVID taught us is that people got used to not leaving the home and they wanted convenience. Now, I had that just through a social media following. I was getting Facebook messages. I was sending out invoices. Sometimes I don't even know if I got paid. I was just getting rid of meat. So we created a website and we rebranded. Now, the rebrand was all about taking away a location predominantly and a business to create a brand name that was that butcher shop that could go anywhere, that could be anyone or anything.
Yes.
Right? So it was that. And it was short, it was sweet, it was bold, and that is our logo. We made it crisp to pronounce our quality. That's where my business shifted.
That's a massive shift.
Huge.
And what a roller coaster.
Yeah.
The emotions and to be in such lows and think you're good and then you find out you know, you're not making money and like 60% was at minimum markup that you need. So many people say they do like 20, 30% markup.
Yep. That's just to keep the lights on and the door open. That's not to grow the business. So if that business would have, even with just doing 60%, we couldn't have grown. There would have been no money. We would have just been paying bills and we wouldn't have been able to grow because we wouldn't have had that extra money to be able to go, yep, okay, we'll invest in a website.
Yes. And to think that people go to the butcher and go, I'm not paying whatever a kilo. It's like, they've got to keep their doors open. Like electricity has increased, all your utilities and overheads, your wages.
We then put money in out of our personal savings. Luckily, because I worked at the bank, one of my best mates is a financial planner and he had set me up and often helped me if we had to pull the pin. So we invested money in to grow the business. We invested in solar to keep our electricity bill the same. For 4 years, our electricity bill didn't change. Now, after 2 years, it's now double what we first went into. So our electricity bill has gone from $8,000 to $16,000 a year, and it is growing to looking like it'll be $20,000 by the end of next year.
With solar?
With solar. Yeah.
Why? How?
This is my theory. Listen, don't quote me. A lot of people invested in solar. Electricity companies still need to make their money. So they put their prices up. So your connection charge has doubled. So where it used to be $1.50 a day, it's now $3 a day. You know, that's just something you can't change. I use all my power that I produce.
Right.
Okay, so I don't put any back into the grid, which is helping. So the whole idea of solar is you make more money if you produce, use, then produce and sell back. You're only getting about 2 cents a kilowatt now. I use all mine, but I'm still drawing a lot of power. All my equipment, I've got big industrial equipment. So it's drawing more. Electricity prices, well, you may as well say have more than doubled.
Yes. I know ours have at home.
Yeah, just at home.
Over the past few years, yes.
And that's where we're looking at when we upgrade a piece of equipment, make it more energy efficient. That's what we're trying to do.
Yes.
Keep that cost down. Because if I hadn't invested in solar and haven't invested in more energy efficient equipment, my meat prices have to go up.
Yes.
Once again, to keep the lights on because the power is so expensive.
Exactly.
Now, $20,000 a year, that's a lot of meat to sell just to pay the power bill.
That's it, isn't it?
And every business is the same.
This is all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see. So when you go to the shop and you're complaining about the price of meat and, you know, a small butcher, you're not paying for a CEO to sit in their office and earn billions of dollars a year and drive a flash car. Like, you're literally just keeping the lights on and feeding your family.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the CEO concept. So people will go to a big chain supermarket and they'll stuff their order up every time. They order 6 capsicums and get 4, or, they send them rotten. And people keep going back, right? They do not say a thing. In a small business, if a business owner who has just come off a 15-hour shift and he's trying his best and for some reason he makes a mistake, which doesn't happen that often. In a small business, you will very rarely see a business
But you're human.
But you're human.
You're going to make a mistake. Exactly.
They will ridicule a small business on Facebook. They will abuse your staff. And you sit there and go, why is it okay for the big chains in takeaways and supermarkets, but as soon as it's a small business, you attack them? But yet again, they've got a CEO that's on $12 million a year without bonuses.
Yes.
But I'm just trying to put food on the table for my family.
Yes. But you've got your keyboard warriors and you're always going to have that with social media around.
Which can hurt you when you're doing big days and you come home to a notification and you just go, oh, can someone do a post about the good things we do in the community?
Yeah. And that's just another small business challenge, isn't it?
Yeah. When you're at home trying to go to sleep.
It does make it very hard and challenging. I do hear those stories a lot. And it's like the bigger you grow and the more publicity you get and the more you're out there, the more negativity that can come with it.
And jealousy.
100%.
Yeah. It can be fueled by others.
Exactly. Yeah. It definitely is.
Which I get around and I love seeing people go well.
I agree. Even if it's your competitors.
Yeah. Are they our competitors, really?
Well, and that's it. I rarely even use the word competitors. Yeah. Because you're all in it together. You've all got your point of difference.
Yeah.
Like, you can't please everyone. So you don't want everyone.
So this year I'm doing a 4-year term on the Australian Mediatry Council. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to share my story, but I want to help other butchers. Yeah. We are in this industry together. We do have a competitor and they're a multi-billion-dollar supermarket chains.
Yes.
I want to see more butcher shops around. I want to see them succeed. And I'm happy to share my story. And that's why I've done it. I'm about 2 years in as vice chair. I often say to our rep, get them to call me. Yeah. I'll help them. It does not bother me. I want to see them succeed against the greater evil.
Yes.
Because I can tell you now, if I pick up a new customer, very rarely, if any, is it from another butcher shop. Yeah. Customers that shop at a butcher shop, it's great quality. We do sell good products. They will stay with their butcher. They're very passionate about it. The customers I pick up are supermarket customers that are sick of having these orders get stuffed up and have poor quality at the same price as they would have from me. Okay, so they're selling a poorer quality product where I'm selling quality product, but their margin is much better. That's why they have the multi-million-dollar CEO.
Yes.
And they're paying a lot less than I am.
Yes.
So they're the customers I'm getting.
Yes.
So I'm trying to encourage other butchers. Do what I'm doing. Or what are you doing? Let's do it together.
Yeah.
I sell my products to other butcher shops. Hey, I'll do this part of the business. Here it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. And that's us supporting each other. That's what small business wants. If you notice, every small business person, no matter the industry, they just want to help each other. Or the good ones do.
And especially I think you see that more in a small town. So only just recently someone I know moved to town and they commented coming from around the Sydney region to come into Wagga how helpful everyone's been in the community. Yeah. Like to come to town and some people could see you as a threat if you're in the same industry. Yeah. But in Wagga in particular, when you're around the right people and meet the right people, everyone will have your back and support you and
Wagga's
give you a go. And
great country town.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I moved to Wagga 13 years ago and I thought it was the biggest city ever.
Did you?
I meet people every day.
Yes.
And it's just a lovely community. It really is. It's got everything you need here. There's so much industry pushing into Wagga. Like you look at, we've got small business, we've got defence, we've got medical, we've got tourism. People don't believe me when I've got tourism. We have some of the best produce and attractions in the world.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah. And people see it as a joke. It's like you haven't experienced the Riverina. The Riverina is one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Definitely. And come when it's canola season.
Oh, yeah.
Like go and, explore.
The fresh water.
Yes.
Yeah. Everything's on offer.
Yes.
And the people are happy to show you. I often get grey nomads. They go, we always come to the butcher because they know everything. It's not that we know everything. We're just passionate. We're passionate about our product, but we're passionate about our town. We only want what's the best for business, but also you guys, and we want you to tell other people.
That's
you know, word of mouth. So some days in my business in Lockhart, a town of 900 people, 40 minutes west of Wagga, 80% of the trade sometimes can be tourist. And they go, we were coming past and we had to detour, but we just wanted to come and see you. You know, because their mate told them, or they met someone at Burke and said, oh, on your way home, drop into Lockhart. The butcher will tell you everything. You know, it's just amazing.
Isn't it?
Word of mouth is a really great thing. And I love when you go somewhere and someone goes, oh, actually, I follow you on Facebook, or I've heard of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I know, and hubby, like my hubby, he's been out of town farms kind of your direction and driven out of his way. He's like, I'm going to go to that butcher shop and just go and buy something. Yeah. Just to like support a friendly, small town, family business who's doing their best, winning awards, which how about we get onto that? Because that, I think, was what attracted my husband more than anything was, oh, my God, they're winning awards for their produce overseas. And, you know, and yes, like we've touched on the produce in the Riverina, but it doesn't limit you to the Riverina, even though you're based in the Riverina. Yeah.
So glad you brought that up. So one of our greatest achievements is that we're currently working on at the moment is we have the best bacon in the world. Now, that is one of the best Australian things to be able to say. So let's track back a little bit. I've emphasised on I want to sell a quality product. So we did the brand name and I wanted to create a brand name that showcased that. So we started going in different Australian Meat Industry Council awards. Started off with I think a state finalist or something for our blueberry cabana. And we thought that was great. Like, how good are we? And as we grew, we went into the national competition and we won gold for bacon, chili beer sticks, like a Twiggy stick, and hot dogs. And I was like, those are 3 pretty good golds. We were wrapped. And then we were invited, Australia was invited for the first time, 2025, to go in the Munich, Germany International Charcuterie Awards. These are the people that invented charcuterie, right? Yes. So we went in that. I think it was like a February, and then it got to about May, and I thought, we haven't got our results back. And then that day they rang and we'd won gold for our bacon, our chili beer sticks, and bronze for our hot dogs.
Oh, my God.
And we're a little shop in Lockhart with now some of the best produce in the world.
Wow.
And people go, why is it so good? I said, well, it's because we made it. But it comes down to my staff who are very quality driven and only pick the best. But we do everything by hand still. Our smoke oven is not fancy. It caught fire one year and the electrician come in and he said, dude, this was made in 1986.
Oh, my goodness.
I just bought it secondhand and I thought I'll have a go at making some bacon. And we're still using that exact smoke oven. It is nothing flash. It does not have any digital controls at all. Our element's broken at the moment. It's that old we can't replace it. My butcher has a blowtorch and he lights the wood chips himself to get the smoke happening.
Oh, wow.
So it's very hands-on. Listen, it's very clunky, but it's what works.
Yes.
But it's because we're not giving in to technology. We don't need to because it's a traditional method. And I think the difference is we're doing it all by hand.
Yes.
Using traditional methods because we're still a small business. We can't afford the best of the best. So we go with what we have, and it goes to show you do not need the best equipment to be the best in the world. And the amount of tourism I've brought to Lockhart and my business because people go, I've got to try the best bacon in the world.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
Like, in the world.
Yeah.
And against Germany, who created the product.
They invented it. Yeah. And we're not doing anything out of the ordinary. We're just using traditional methods. So we're not giving in to this is a quicker way. I don't care how long it takes, mate. I want quality over quantity. So we do run out. Now, every business you shouldn't run out, but it's a process. And if I sell more than I can produce, well, I'm happy with that. Because if I upscale, you can lose potentially the quality.
Yes.
So we just, if we sell out, we can give the customer a time frame and say, listen, it'll be 2 days.
Yeah. Is that all they have to wait anyway?
Hopefully. If it's from start
nothing.
to finish, it's about a 10-day turnaround. So if you drop the ball for 2 or 3 days and you sell out, you go, oh, I won't sell all that, but you do because
Demand's there.
Yeah, demand's there.
Which almost makes you, I know myself as a customer, I'm like, oh, maybe I should stock up while I'm here.
Yeah,
It makes you want to buy more.
A lot of people do. They go, I'll grab 3 packets. And you're
Yeah.
like, there's going to be plenty. No, I'll grab it now. And then the cabana, the small goods, like my butcher Russell, I call him the charcuterie godfather. I can't even help him anymore because he's that particular and I'm that busy that I can sometimes rush. And he's like, just get out of my way. Just don't. He goes, I need my space and I need my time. And I watch him picking up meat. And he's like, oh, no, that's not quite what I'm looking for.
Wow.
Just chuck it in. Like he'll hand pick every piece of meat that goes into our small goods. Yeah.
But how good's that you've actually got a staff member, and I'm sure multiple too, but that will basically run your business, like do
100%.
the main component of your business so you can focus on all the other stuff.
So our new awards, which get judged, I think they're getting judged last week and this week. I was on holidays.
Oh.
And my butcher Russell and my apprentice Mitch had to make all the products, package them and get them ready to be picked up. And I often say to my apprentice that he has a bit of a joke. I go, yeah, but how did we get into that competition? How did all this happen? It's the back of house work that us business owners do that often gets missed. Yeah. And I said, my part is just as important as what yous are doing. I said, because I already know the product. I know it's good. And I have faith in all of my staff. So, yeah, we've got Butcher Russell. We've got apprentice Mitch that's gone into his 2nd year. And then we've got Tempe, Tom, Will and Olivia as junior staff. Wow. Very strong in employing junior staff and giving them a go. And I get them trained up as quick as I can. And then I start giving them responsibility. A lot of my junior staff will shut the shop. Our younger staff member's 12. Our oldest junior is nearly 18. Our junior that's 18 has been shutting the shop on her own for 2 or 3 hours since she was 15.
Wow.
And that is giving her a duty manager role. I said, if you ever go for a job as a resume, you are a duty manager. I said, you run, operate and close this business on your own. And I don't think they see how important that is. But when they go for another job, whether it be anywhere, they're going to be well and truly ahead of any other kid.
Oh, definitely. And the responsibility that it teaches them and the maturity and growth that comes with that.
And we have a cash till. Yeah. So they're dealing with cash in front of customers. So they're learning what some kids don't know how to do anymore. They know how to count cash. I don't let them, when they're learning, use the machine to tell them the change. I said, no, you will count it back. Yeah. And now they go, oh, it makes no sense when we put it in. So they're, as young people, they are going to go, I'm hoping they go well in life. And I've given them that opportunity that someone gave me. I remember when I was 16, I used to close a supermarket down the coast. They gave me that responsibility and it helped me grow. Yeah. So I'm hoping to do that with these juniors.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And they want to work there.
Yeah, so
they love coming in. Yep.
Yeah. So you've got like a real family team.
And they'll ring me, need help, or, like we just chat, and I very rarely am I a boss because I don't need to be. And people think a boss is angry. Well, no, a good boss doesn't have to be angry.
No, not these days.
I give you all the tools, I give you all the information.
Exactly.
Why do I have to be angry? If I've done my job right,
that's it.
You just have to do yours. The old school ways, it doesn't work.
No.
And my kids come in on their day off or on their way to school. Oh, what do you got on today? They all come in.
Yeah.
To just, even when they're not working, on their way to school holidays, just to hang out. And I just look and go, this is amazing and this is what I want.
And you've built that. You and Amy have built it.
And every single staff member that works for us has never applied for a job. I've seen them walking past, looked at their personal brand and said, hey, do you want a job at the butcher shop? And they're shocked. I said, I've been watching you walk past. I said, you seem like a nice kid. Do you want a job?
Wow.
And they all, here they are, all having a great time.
And are you hiring them, because you're the second person to tell me that this week, that you just pick people off the street. So are you hiring them based on, so it's not necessarily their skill set, but like are you basing it on like their presentation or is it their mannerisms? Or?
Yeah, just their personal brand, because I'm big on personal brand. That's what your biggest asset is, your personal brand. So if you can present yourself, and these kids are already doing it, they don't even realise. They've been presenting themselves as, well-natured, well-mannered. They don't seem to get caught up in the riff-raff or anything like that. They're always pleasant when they're in their shop with mum or dad, and you just go, well, you'd be great in my business, because you can teach cleaning, serving, counting. You cannot teach personality. And that's what it comes down to.
Yes.
So I just go, yep, here you go. Have a job, done.
How easy is that?
All I say to
make
them,
it sound easy, but
can you just, I said, if you just give me your bank details and your tax file number and we're good to go. One girl, her mum wasn't due to go to Wagga for a week.
Yeah.
She made her mum drive her. As soon as I asked her if she wanted a job, they were in Wagga that day organising her tax file number. She was that excited.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah.
So is that the plan, to have all this staff and for you to step away?
I want to step away and grow.
Okay.
So the misconception is the boss has to be on the knives. Well, the business can't grow if I'm cutting meat. So there's a lot of, as every small business owner knows, is you can't be the primary worker if you want to grow. So I've trained all these staff that I can leave it in the afternoon, which is giving my customers a good delivery time. I can come to events like yours today and I can go and see potential new customers and grow my business that way. Because if my shop relies on me, well, then how do you grow? So my butcher and apprentice and all that, they know that I can do the job because I did it for, 3-4 years. But for us to be able to grow as a business, I want to be able to get out there and sell our product.
Yeah. So obviously you've mentioned growth a couple of times there. So you're still growing and looking to grow further?
Yeah. So every year we are picking up new customers. So we are growing still. We did have a plateau there for 18 months when interest rates first went up. People sort of just stayed pretty neutral for what they were doing to know where they're up to. But now we're starting to see that growth happen again. But it's still hard.
Yeah.
It's still hard. Yeah.
So you still feel like you've got to do a lot of networking or?
Yeah. I was on holidays 2 weeks ago, which I'm lucky enough to be able to go on holidays and have my business open.
Yes.
But I would have been on my laptop probably 2 or 3 nights of that 7-day holiday, which is what people don't really think about. Wages don't automatically go into bank accounts. Meat doesn't automatically show up because if you don't pay the bill, they won't send you meat. So there's always jobs that have to happen, whether you're in the business or not. And I'm starting to do more work from home. So when I'm at the shop, the boys get the best version of me and I'm not distracted. So when I am in the business, which is about the 4 to 5 days a week, get me there and I'm happy to help and get it up and running, and any questions they have go that way. I'm lucky I've got good staff.
Yes.
So that's what it all comes down to. I like to think that they're happy in their work environment. They love having me around, which is, I go, no, that's meant to be the opposite. You're not meant to like having your boss around.
No.
But they do. So they like having me around, but they can see that with my recent life, medical challenges and family is busy. They know that I need to be able to step back for all those reasons. Are
you happy to talk about your medical challenges?
Yeah, I've had quite a few. So, I'm very open. I do like to talk about mental health. Obviously, I think most small business owners, if you think you don't, you probably do have some mental health challenges. One of the best things of advice I got one day, I was crying, I was angry, I was so many emotions going around. It wasn't me. I didn't like it. I went to the doctor and he said to me, he goes, Jared, if there was something wrong with your heart, would you take a tablet? And I said, oh, absolutely. I don't want my heart to stop. He goes, mate, your brain's no different. And so I suffered from depression, anxiety, mainly anxiety just from, you can get a keyboard warrior that can ruin you for weeks because you put your heart and soul into a business and then you get someone that doesn't actually know anything and they abuse you over something. So I started a mental health plan, talk freely about mental health, I talk to customers now about how can I help you? And I've had hour-long conversations at someone's front door. Is there something I can do to help? And I tell them my struggles and they couldn't believe it. You're always so happy.
You are.
I said, but I said, some nights at home I'm sad. Wow. And I said, and I don't talk. But that's mental health. Mental health is struggling. If you don't start talking about it, bad things happen. You could say luckily or unluckily, I've been exposed to people that haven't sought after help and it's the end's not great.
No.
Right. So I'm happy to talk about it because if I have one conversation, say one person's life, great. So I know the challenges there with mental health, and I've also been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called Crohn's. That was challenging in its own right, as before I got diagnosed, I had 12 operations in 12 months.
Holy moly.
I've been under anaesthetic in every single place you can in Wagga. So that's my claim to fame. So, yeah. Want to know a good hospital, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So before I got diagnosed with Crohn's, they were treating the symptoms. So I was having an operation on a Thursday and I was at work on a Friday.
Far out.
If I had an afternoon operation, I would work the morning, have my operation, back at work the next day.
Oh, Jared.
The doctor would say, do you want me to write a doctor's certificate? I said, oh, no, I work for myself. Don't worry about it. He goes, well, you need to have 10 days off. I said, yeah, no worries. And I'd go straight back to work. And it just started to get worse and worse. So I'd get home from work on a Saturday, back when I was working Saturdays, and I'd get home at 12, have a sleep till 4, get up, and then go back to bed at 5:30. Then Sunday, I'd get up at 9, do whatever I had to do at home till 12, and then I'd go back again to bed till 4. I was just sleeping flat out. My family weren't getting the best of me. So then my mental health was going down. My Crohn's was getting worse. And then I finally got diagnosed. And now I get treatment once every 8 weeks. And it's on a Tuesday. And I now just take the day off and go, this is my mental health treatment day. So I just go up to the hospital with my laptop, sit in my nice recliner chair. The girls are lovely. And I pull my laptop up. I get caught up. Generally falls at the end of the quarter. So I could do my own baz.
Yes.
And I'm not stressed because I can't go anywhere. So it's something that has to happen. And it just does. And it actually works better now for the business that I can go and have that treatment. But I'm very lucky to be getting the treatment I have because I knew how bad it was when I wasn't.
That is like almost like, to me, I'm thinking that's got to be rock bottom. Like that's got to be worse than COVID.
Yeah, it was. It was horrible.
Yes.
And then there's the episodes. So that's procedural. And then I remember I did a, for ICMJ meat judging, international college meat judging workshops here in Wagga, right? So I stopped listening to my body. This was only last year when I've been in remission and been doing everything right, I thought. I was doing a presentation with the best butcher in the world, Butcher Lawsy. He was in the other room. I was cutting up all this meat in front of all these students that were so intrigued about butchering. I was in my element. I had one lesson to go. We're doing 3 a day. So I did the first day, fine, had the day off, and then we did the next day. I did 2 workshops. I didn't feel well. Next thing, I'm on my back, passing out. Ambulance is there. I get to the hospital. The kids are there, and the kids are like, "Mum, is Dad going to die?"
Oh, my God.
They rang my mum.
Now you're going to break me.
They rang my mum and
God.
said, "Dad's sick. He's in an ambulance. We think he's going to die." This wasn't the first time that my kids have seen me in a hospital bed shaking with problems. And I look at them and I say to Amy, "Can you take them home?" Because they honestly thought
Yes.
on multiple occasions, so I'm a frequent flyer at the hospital, that I was going to die. And that broke my heart. And that's when I started to change the business to a more, I need to be present with my family.
Yes.
I need to build a life where I can go to their basketball game of an afternoon. There was times where I never used to leave the shop till 5:30. Now it's like, no, well, the kids have a swimming carnival. I'm going. So now I'm building a brand. So if we go back to that butcher shop, we talk about barbecue talk. Your wonderful husband drops by the shop and, well, you do know me, but say you don't know me. And he goes, "Oh, try this amazing cabana." And you go, "Oh, where'd you get that from?" He goes, "Oh, that butcher shop." And then the next 5 minutes is you two having a funny argument about, "No, what butcher shop?" And he goes, "No, that butcher shop." And he's like, "No." He's like, "I'm telling you." And you're like, "No, tell me." And he's like, "It's the butcher shop in Lockhart and it's called that butcher shop." Now, in that 2-minute fun conversation, my name just got dropped about 5 times.
Yes.
Right? Now, you imagine there's a barbecue on and there's sausages and steaks and their boys are on the beers and so they're cooking the meat and then the girls are over there enjoying a beautiful charcuterie board. They're all having the same conversation. And then next thing there's a cackle of laughter. The whole time I'm not even there and my business has just been promoted 5 times.
Yes.
In front of like 30 people. So I love my barbecue talk and that's what the brand does. And that's what's growing my business and that's what's making me more present at my family. And I look after my staff because they look after me now. And they see that, "Hey, Jared needs help." And and I'll often say to them, "I'm having a bad day, I'm stressed," or I say I'm sad or I'm angry. And I'll tell them because I'm very in touch with my mental health. And if you don't tell these people, they want what's best for you, just like I want what's best for my employees. I tell them, if you're in trouble, ring me. I'll help you. If you need money, guidance, food, just ask. I don't want to come to work on Monday and find out that you've had the worst weekend of your life and there could have been something I've done. I will drive 5 hours to help you. And my apprentice went to Sydney not long ago for a Metallica concert of all things. I said, if anything happens, you ring me first.
Yep.
I will get you home. All right? I said, I'll laugh, I'll carry on, and I'll tease you about it for a month straight.
Yeah.
But when there is a problem, I can guarantee you I will help you. And I've always told them that, but they don't realise, but they do it for me every day. And I can talk to them about anything. The greatest things in my life are my staff and my wife and my 2 beautiful kids. And they are my main priority. The business happens when that all works.
Yes.
And that's what we've got to get better at as business owners is what is your priority and who's there when it's tough.
And I really admire, and that you've brought that up, about just having that open conversation with your staff and letting them know that you're not okay sometimes because I know, and you probably come from the same back in the day, your bosses were the ones who yelled at you. Like that's how it worked. Like they yelled or they raised their voice or you knew they were cranky. Sometimes things even got thrown across the room.
Yeah.
Like that was how you knew when you had stuffed up. You never once said to them, though, sorry, I made that mistake, but my cat died on the weekend, or sorry, my grandma died, but I just don't want to tell you because I'm too scared.
Yeah.
You know, big things would happen, but you had to leave it at the door. You weren't allowed to bring it into work.
I worked for a big chain and they were short-staffed, so I didn't get to go to one of my auntie's funerals. And it's one of my great auntie, I should say. And I look at it every day and go, if I was the person I am now, I would have went because she was my family. And they come first. And she did a lot for me, and it's one of my biggest regrets. And I say to my staff, if you need to go, you go. If we run out of snags for a day, who cares? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, is it that big of a deal? And if someone's that upset that we don't have a sausage because I'm having a mental health breakdown, my kids and wife are supporting me, and my butcher's tired because he's supporting me, but he's also running a farm as well. Do you think we want what's best for our customers, but our good customers go, hey, it's all right. We get it. It's all right. And I often laugh, or not laugh, I think there's some great initiatives out there for mental health, but people do it for social media. And I go, I have some in-depth conversations with customers to help them. And they often say, they go, I've got friends that say they're all about mental health. Not once have they rang me. I will, if I have a big conversation like that with a customer, I'll send them a message a couple of days later and say, hey, everything all right? Or if I'm driving past, hey, you don't have to shop with me. I said to him, I said, just ring me, I'll come by. Yeah. I said, because your mental health matters to me, because the more people we have here, the better the world's going to be. But I notice there are some people that do it for social media and say that they want to help people, but I don't do it for that. I do it for, I know what it's like, and if I can help someone else get out of that, that's all it needs. Yes,
and it is very common in small business. I know multiple, more than I could count on both hands, of small business owners that, whether it's the early days of business or whether it's when they're going through a growth period, they seek help because they know that they're not themselves, and if they don't get help now, they're going to lose family or their family's going to suffer because they are so mentally drained with the whole operations of running a business that people don't see behind the scenes. And then, like you said, you get a keyboard warrior who thinks they're entitled to an opinion, even if they don't use your products or your services, but yet they feel like they're entitled to an opinion. And that is enough for you to hit tipping point and go, why am I doing this? Why am I here?
Been there. I couldn't tell you how many times I've been there where I've just shut off. And sometimes we go away in the caravan, 20 minutes out of Wagga, where there's no reception, just to unwind. And we have to do that. We have to just go, I need to get away. And I tell people, men cry. If you're a man and say you don't cry, stop. Like, we don't believe you, right? And I remember I said to the doctor, I need help. Those 3 words were the best days of my life. And before I even started any treatment or talking or anything, the weight of the world lifted off my shoulders. And like I said before, why do we ignore mental health? It is everywhere. You don't have to take tablets, but if it was for your heart, you would. Now, tablets aren't for everyone, but talking, anyone can talk. But just be honest with yourself and also your family. I often say to Ames, I'm just sad today. And she goes, well, what's wrong? And a lot of the time you don't know because it could have been 5 little things that wouldn't normally matter, but they were just one after the other. And you go, I'm just having a day.
Yeah. And isn't it like for anyone that ever goes into your butcher shop,
Yeah.
or meets you in the street, or like our kids go to school together, I see you at basketball, and no way at any time would I've ever thought that or had that assumption because you're always so upbeat and, you know, life's so great and you're always up for a chat and that's the scary bit because how many others out there do you go, oh, my God, they're so happy all the time and they're so, like, friendly but who else is having those battles?
There's a lot of people, but it's because I'm open about it too. So I have no drama in telling you that I've had struggles.
Yeah.
A lot of blokes don't, and they're the ones that they let it get to them, and then next thing you know, and you go, dude, just talk. And then sometimes, like, I'll talk to a mate every now and then or whatever, and I just go straight to the point, anything keeping you up tonight or anything keeping you up at night at all? And they'll go, oh, nah, why? I said, oh, just wondering. Because that's when you notice it. And the lack of sleep, because then you're not sleeping, and then so I'll ask real questions. Like, if there's something keeping you up at night, just let me know.
Yeah.
Maybe I can help. If not, maybe just talking about it can help.
Exactly.
And the big events, you're not going to get someone go up to a big event that's bright, colourful, surrounded by people and say, boy, I'm struggling. Oh, you're downing the mood, mate. But that's what the event's meant to be about.
Yes.
You know, I don't know how we're going to do it, but if I can have half a dozen conversations here and there with people, and I'm happy to put it out on this podcast, if someone is struggling, mate, come and see me. I know what it's like.
Yes.
I've seen other people, you know, finish it. So I've lived it. I've seen it. I'm happy to have a chat about it because guess what? You're probably right in what you're thinking and you just need to get it out.
That's it. Your mind can be your own worst enemy, can't it? Even in business, your whole self-doubt that like others don't know about, the mental health side, the trying to please everyone, trying to say yes all the time or saying yes all the time instead of no. Or, like all that stuff that goes on in your mind. When you have a business, it's just a whole nother game. Like,
there's always something. I walked in yesterday and found out one of my cool rooms is stuffed. So, you know, I think it's going to be anywhere between $7,000 and $10,000. Yeah, I've got insurance. They don't cover all the incidentals and the breakdown and, you know, they'll help a little bit. But I've still got to come up with all that. And you go, rolling with the punches. And then some days it happened on a good day. You're like, yep, no worries. I was sort of prepared. I didn't think it was working right. So you had it in the back of your mind. But, you know, I had a breakdown one day where I walked in and I had a cool room full of over a week's supply of meat that was gone. I had to throw out. And it just happened to be that when you do your insurance, you cover a certain amount of stock. You go, oh, yeah. My insurance hadn't been reviewed since I first took over. It was after COVID, so I was in my growth period where I was actually a lot better off selling meat than I was. So I got funded for, I think, $10,000 worth of meat, but there would have been $30,000 in there. And you couldn't sell it. You couldn't do anything. So, and then I'm looking at this meat and I'm going, what am I going to do? You know, you cry, you laugh, you do all this sort of stuff. Yeah, the $10,000 helped me get back on track, but I carried that for 2 years trying to build that back up. But I rang the Altina Zoo. I said, oi, I've just had this cool room breakdown. I don't want to throw this to the tip.
Yes.
I said, can you do something with it? I don't want to throw it away because to me it was just like, we've got all this meat. Surely something good can happen of it. And I thought I fed the lions for like a month. They eat 70 kilos every 2 days.
Oh,
so they feed them once every second day.
Right.
Yeah, I fed them for maybe a week, if that.
But what a good thing to do and how clever of you.
Oh, I didn't care.
Wow.
I didn't care how it got there. And I had some great customers out there. They're like, Jared, we'll take it over for you. Like that, you can't do that. Like you've got so much going on. it actually felt good. You're like, you know what? I've just had a really big problem, but at least there was some silver lining to it.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, lions eat a lot. They eat a lot.
I thought teenagers and kids ate a lot. There you go.
I own a butcher shop and my kids would still prefer 2-minute noodles and chicken nuggets. And you go, mate, you want a T-bone?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Like, out of all the business owners I've ever spoke to, you have really hit some hurdles.
Yeah, and I don't hide it.
Yes.
And
I admire that.
If I did hide it and it didn't work out. So now if you want to know what it's like, hate working for myself. I love butchering.
Yeah.
But this is what's best for my family and we're making it enjoyable.
Yes.
With the staff and the family. And, you know, my butcher comes over to my house when he's in Wagga. He goes, just drop in to see you. The kids love him. We are a family. I don't have any family here, so I've had to build that. But I've got my beautiful wife, Amy, who is incredible. She is one of the most strongest women I have ever met, or person.
Yes.
You know, what she has done for our family and our business is amazing. For me to be sitting here doing all the chat, if I didn't have that strong woman behind me, and I can tell you now, if you see a successful man, there is a strong woman behind him in the background. Yeah, absolutely. And Amy's often the quiet one, the worker, and we often laugh that her face doesn't have an inside voice. So, and she...
but you're always talking.
But that's right. She's busy. She doesn't get a chance to talk. If we went on a podcast and she said about 10 words in an hour and a half. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here telling this story.
Yeah, and she's an incredible woman.
She is amazing.
Very incredible woman.
And one thing that I can say that a lot of blokes are scared, I don't know why they say it, but I married my best friend. I get to work with my best friend every day. And people think, it might be put on or it doesn't make sense. We just join the gym, but we only go if we go together. We don't go by ourselves.
Oh, that's sweet.
So we do as much as we can together because, one, we love each other. We're our best friends, but I really admire what she's done for me, my family, and this business. Yes. And a lot of people don't get to see that because I'm the talker.
Yeah, you're the face.
So like we have people messages go, oh, hey, Jared, can you do a grazing platter? Mate, I could not make salami look good if I tried. It's Amy. But because she's in the shadows, they go, oh, Jared, can you do this? You go, oh, mate, that's Amy. But anyway, no worries. It's not worth telling the customer that. So.
Well, and she's the one that made today happen too, whether you knew about it or not. She's like, yep, he'll come for a chat.
Yeah. She's got to organise everything.
So to finish up, I think, gosh, I know I've got a lot out of today and takeaways. But for anyone listening who is faced with health battles and the daily run-ins of a business and hitting lows, like you've hit constant almost, it feels, lows, what would be your advice for them?
Sit down and find out what's wrong first. Look at your triggers, look at your adversities, what's happening. If it's medical, find a good doctor and just book in once a month if you have to, even if just to check in. Get your health under control. Without your health, you are nothing. If you talk to anyone who has a major health battle, I'd do anything to have my health back. And that's what you need to do because there'll be someone that's going to come and run that butcher shop as soon as you die. So if you don't have your health, what do you have? And that's what you need to focus on. Get a good GP and don't give up until you feel better.
Yeah.
And if your wife tells you to go on a diet and drink less beer, that's the time to challenge. That's when you go, maybe.
I love it.
Don't give in that easy. Give in to everything else. And generally they've got your well-being at heart, but there's some things you've got to stand up for.
Yes. And that's the Jared coming out in you.
Yeah.
Love it. What a great way to finish. Look, for anyone that wants to have a chat to you, they can go visit you in Lockhart and, just go and have a look in the window and say hi. And
you don't even have to buy anything. I love a chat.
Yes.
See me in the street, just say g'day, please.
Yes, and if you live afar, follow on socials to support your small business and thanks for joining us. If you would like some more tips on how to help you in your small business, visit the link in the show notes to sign up to our newsletter. Until next time, stay fresh and stay kind.